Huku munaniona vizuri, pale nyuma munaniona vizuri. Mimi ndio Sifuna. Kwa maombi yenu tumefika Kisii leo.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are counties that vote and then there are other counties that actually decide elections. Kisii and Nyamira are slowly becoming the second type of counties. You see, for years, this region has always been under ODM. But something has now changed. There's the introduction of Fred Okengo Matiang'i, who is now building his influence.
Tunatafuta mabadiliko kwa sababu wameshindwa kuongoza nchi.
There's also Linda Mwananchi movement, which is now seeking to expand.
Team ni moja, tam ni moja, team ni moja, tam ni moja, team ni moja.
And suddenly, a region that once looked politically settled is now becoming one of the biggest battlegrounds in Kenya. That is why today's Linda Mwananchi rally in Kisii and Nyamira is not just another political meeting. If you think about it, it's actually a test of whether this movement, Linda Mwananchi, can actually penetrate one of country's most contested political regions.
Tunasikia kuna jamaa anataka kufanya Kisii headquarters ya goons.
Simba Arats alikuwa anajaribu ati kuwalipa hapo, anawaambia kujeni 1500 per person. Sijui kesho mkose vurugu kwa Linda Mwananchi rally, lakini nani mmemsho cheki boss.
Judging by the calls that have been coming from State House to Simba Arati, Mbaya. Let me explain. If you love this kind of content, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Now let's get to the video. You see, when politicians talk about swing regions, they're talking about places that don't permanently belong to one political side. Places where voters can actually change their minds. Places that can decide who becomes president. Now, Kisii is becoming exactly that. President William Ruto wants to keep the region firmly behind himself. His friends in ODM, people like Simba Arati, are telling him that Kisii is actually a two-term zone.
Mimi kama deputy party leader wa chama cha ODM, baba alituacha katika mikono ya rais, na tumesema kwamba tunashirikiana pamoja. Tigangonoraba ndo jitamu iberema. Asante sana.
That message has been very consistent. They want to make it very clear that President William Samoei Ruto should not worry about anything. And also, they're telling the people in Kisii that they should support the government, they should stay behind the president and get development.
Najua rais akiwa hapa ndio baba wa taifa, si ndio? Yeye ndiye hako na ile kisu. Kwa hiyo buchari anaangalia ni mahali gani iko na mafuta na kata.
But on the other side, Fred Okengo Matiang'i has been working quietly to reclaim that political region to himself.
Hii style hii MCS wanatishwa hapa. Eti kwa na Matiang'i musangerekano go wakwa. You actually don't know what you are trying to play with.
And now there's Linda Mwananchi, which has officially arrived, but not to compete with Fred Okengo Matiang'i, but for all indications to complement that effort.
Huyo Matiang'i tutamtafuta, tukae chini, tumwambie sisi tunaona hii ndio timu ambayo inaweza kudeliver hii victory. Yeye atuambie maoni yake ni gani. Tunakubaliana hapo.
You see, before today's rally, Linda Mwananchi leaders actually had a meeting with Fred Okengo Matiang'i. That meeting mattered because the last thing that we want is to see an opposition that looks divided. Instead, today's event actually projects something different: coordination, a shared objective, and a united front against William Samoei Ruto.
Kwa hivyo wote tukae tuzungumze, si ndio? Tutoe kikosi moja. Wangapi wanasema tutoe kikosi moja? Huku wacha nione kwa mkono. Asanteni sana kwa hiyo support yenu, na sisi tunawahakikishia kwamba hatutawaangusha.
This is exactly why State House is actually watching today's rally very closely. If Linda Mwananchi attracts the kind of crowds that it has always been attracting everywhere they go, then the political conversation is going to change and change very much, because the movement has already demonstrated something remarkable. Whether it is in Western Kenya, whether it is in Mount Kenya, or any other part in the country, it is consistently attracting large crowds and significant public attention.
Harambee!
And if that pattern then repeats itself in Kisii, the narrative that this region is family within the government becomes very hard to sustain. That is why today's rally is much bigger than just speeches. It's about perception, it's about momentum, and it's about political psychology.
Tuliambiwa tusikanyage hapa Kisii, ati nyinyi ni watu wa tutam. Ni ukweli ama uongo? Hebu onyesha Simba kidole.
You see, Kisii politics have always been very confrontational. The region has witnessed intense rivalries over the years, with leaders often engaging in heated political battles that sometimes spill beyond words.
Nataka kusema hii biashara.
That reality has created an understandable concern from the supporters that are going to be attending today's rally. Many people are asking one very simple question. Will today's meeting remain peaceful? Because recent months have seen growing concern over political and related violence across all parts of the country.
Witness accounts have confirmed that gunshots were heard coming from the vicinity of the hotel where DCP's candidate Kamau Ngotho was reportedly meeting party officials and campaign strategists.
Whenever the opposition leaders hold a major rally, the question always very security related. Are we going to be okay? People simply want to attend political meetings, listen to their leaders, and then return back home safely. That should not be a conversation that we should even be holding in a democracy.
Tutakubali Kisii kuwa headquarters ya goons.
Yet, it has become one of the biggest concerns surrounding any political gatherings today.
Wangapi wanasema Simba kanyage kubwa kubwa? Nataka niseme nikiwa hapa Kisii, Mheshimiwa Simba, nilikuwa najidanganya ati wewe ni rafiki yangu. Kumbe unaweza kuingia mahali wanachinja Sifuna, wewe ndio mwenye kunoa kisu.
For Edwin Sifuna though, today's rally carries an additional significance. Since now he's been officially removed as the SG of ODM, his political path is now no longer just as someone who is in party leadership. Today's appearance, therefore, is not going to be just him attacking the government. Today is also his first chance to define himself politically outside ODM's current direction.
Mimi, baada ya baba kuondoka, nimepoteza marafiki wengi sana, lakini pia nimepata marafiki wapya wengi sana. Nyinyi ni marafiki zangu. Nyinyi ni marafiki zangu. Simba akanyage kubwa kubwa, aende akiendanga, muta replace Simba.
Expect familiar names though from other politicians. They're going to talk about the cost of living.
Nani hana kazi? Nani hana kazi? Kwa hivyo.
These are the issues that Linda Mwananchi has consistently centered its rallies upon, and today's audience is likely to hear the same message but delivered with even greater intensity.
Tunataka a country where everybody is somebody, not a country where everybody is nobody. We don't want a country where everybody is nobody. We want a country where everybody is.
You want to hear something interesting? By the end of today, nobody is going to remember the speech. People rarely do. What they're going to remember is the crowd, the atmosphere, the turnout, the feeling. Politics is not always about policies. Sometimes it's about momentum. If thousands of people show up today peacefully, the opposition is ultimately going to claim that victory. If Simba Arati and his goons come and try to disrupt this meeting today, the opposition is still going to claim this victory.
Kudos to the Kisii bodaboda sector. Simba Arats alikuwa anajaribu ati kuwalipa hapo, anawaambia kujeni 1500 per person. Sijui kesho mkosi vurugu kwa Linda Mwananchi rally, lakini nini ni nani msho cheki boss. Sisi hapana tambua, we must see and interact with the Linda Mwananchi leaders. Nyinyi ni wale wase, you guys ni true kabisa.
And that is how hard it is for William Ruto and his goons to actually win the battle today.
Kuna watu wanafikiria ati sisi tutatumika kugawa kura, ati ndio Kasongo apite katikati. Nataka nitangaze nikiwa Kisii, hakuna mtu anafungulia hiyo paka dirisha ati iruke nje. Tutatafuta Matiangi, tumepata niendelee nisiendelee.
So whether you support the government or the opposition, today's events in Kisii are going to really matter, because they're going to tell us whether Linda Mwananchi can continue expanding into regions that were once considered politically difficult.
Niendelee nisiendelee, niseme nisiseme, niseme nisiseme.
And perhaps most importantly, they're going to tell us whether ordinary citizens can actually continue participating in political meetings peacefully despite the heightened political temperatures.
Si tumepata Maraga yuko hapa, tutafute pia Kalonzo, tutafute Matiang'i, tutoe kikosi moja hatari, by saa 12 asubuhi Kasongo kuwa ameenda nyumbani.
At the end of the day, no democracy should actually fear people gathering to listen to ideas. And if today's rally proceeds peacefully and attracts the crowds that we actually expect, it will not just be a successful political meeting. It will be a stamp that Sifuna can actually pull serious crowds in any part of this beautiful country. And that should actually worry Ruto extremely.
Team ni moja, tam ni moja, team ni moja, tam ni moja, team ni moja. Asanteni sana.
That is exactly why all eyes today have been on Kisii. Subscribe.